So without further ado, if you haven't been on some of our webinars before, my name is Alex Vetter. I'm the marketing manager here at EasyMorph, and we're thrilled to have you joining us for today's session, combining Python and visual workflows to boost data team collaboration and productivity, where we'll show you how you can use Python and EasyMorph together and improve collaboration in data teams. If you have any questions, please send them in chat throughout the presentation, and we'll open it up to a Q&A at the end for everyone. So let's go ahead and start with today's agenda. Today we'll briefly go over a quick overview of what we're talking about. That includes an introduction of how to make your Python script a product for non-technical employees. For the next section, we'll have one of our experts talking about how you can use Python in a realistic environment. In the following section, we'll talk about what else you can do with Python and EasyMorph and future developments. At the end, we'll go over our Q&A questions, so feel free to drop them in chat throughout the webinar. So today we have two experts joining us. We have Matt Fryer and Dmitry Gudkov. If you haven't been on any webinars before, we typically have these two guys joining us. Matt is our technology evangelist. He does a lot of great work helping our customers solve data problems, and he's also constantly creating content for our blog and YouTube channel. And we have Dmitry, who is our founder of EasyMorph. Combined, they have over 50 years of experience helping teams solve real data problems and improve team collaboration. They're going to show you how you can solve a really big issue right now, which is improving productivity and collaboration for non-coders and Python engineers. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it off to Dmitry.
Alex, I'm going to share my screen. So today we will be talking about one of the challenges that that exist in many organizations where data teams and business departments are somewhat separated, and the reason is the mismatch in tooling, where data engineers can use different tools to work with data, to leverage machine learning, to work with big data. But business users, they have different specialization. They were educated on different disciplines, and they don't have the technical skills that would allow them to work with highly technical systems and algorithms, such as and that includes Python as well. So you can have data engineers creating wonderful things in Python, but then the use of those scripts and models and algorithms can be limited, because every time someone less technical needs to use them, they will have to ask someone from the data team to help them, or maybe create a ticket or something else. That's not good for collaboration. That complicates things unnecessarily, and that's less than ideal. So today we will be showing and demonstrating how this can be facilitated. So how you can organize collaboration and work within your organization to make it possible for your less technical colleagues to use whatever you create in Python, the algorithms, the models, the applications, and scoring methods and whatnot. The key idea behind it is wrapping your Python scripts as reusable products, where less technical people may not understand exactly what's going on inside your Python script, but they understand the inputs, they understand the outputs, the result of it, and they can use the Python scripts as basically as black boxes within a certain environment, and that would allow them to have a degree of self-service, where they can work independently, where they can pull data from external systems, big data, systems and applications, or use AI models, and that can unlock extra productivity gains for your colleagues who would be able to leverage the tools and scripts that you create in their daily job. A few words about EasyMorph. So why EasyMorph and what role EasyMorph plays here? Well, EasyMorph it's a multi-purpose versatile data platform which goal is to glue together people and systems, and it's designed from the ground up to be used by people without a technical background. It's designed to be easy to use, both for less technical people as well as data engineer and data scientists. How EasyMorph does that? EasyMorph uses high-level abstractions. So instead of dealing with the technical nitty-gritty details, EasyMorph operates with high-level abstractions and take care of technical nuances such as parallelization or authentication, so that you can focus on delivering business value, focus on algorithms, focus on workflows, instead of being bogged down in debugging and chasing small bugs. And finally, EasyMorph is a unified multi-purpose platform with multiple capabilities for data automation, ETL, API automation, data exploration, data ingestion, and many other things. And all that is powered by the same visual workflow engine. So let's look closer at how to make Python available for everyone in your organization. We will present two options today, how to make it possible. Well, option number one is making your Python scripts catalog assets. So what are catalog assets? What's the catalog and what's the asset, and what is that? Like if you are new to EasyMorph and you never worked with it, so a catalog, you can think of it. It's a portal. It's a portal with a directory of so-called assets, or if you use data products. So what's an asset in this case? Asset, you can think of an asset as a black box, with certain inputs and certain results, and that black box abstracts away from the user the technical implementation of the algorithm or of some computation that happens within inside the black box. And that computation can be done with Python as well. So you can use visual workflows, but also you can use Python as well. So for the user, it all appears like boxes, like black boxes, but they understand the inputs, they understand the result. And EasyMorph and the catalog offers ready-to-use, available out-of-the-box interface for providing inputs to your Python scripts and for consuming the results of your Python scripts. How that works exactly, we will see in a moment. I will demonstrate two examples that leverage Python scripts under the hood, but for the end user, they will look like just like catalog assets. They will not see the command line. They will not see the Python script itself. Instead, they will see a browser-based user interface that makes it easier for them to consume and use the results of the Python scripts. In the first example that I will demonstrate in a moment, we will see how you can query an external data source. It can be a data lake, it can be cloud data warehouse, it can be some external application, or like some big data system, whatever Python can connect to and operate with, can be wrapped as a black box, as an asset, and exposed to the users. In this case, in this example, the inputs will be just parameters. So it will be start date and end date, and the result will be a table. The user specifies the parameters and the user obtains the table. Under the hood, there is a Python script that connects to an external data store and pulls data from it. The second example is a bit more complicated. There are two types of inputs in the second example. First, also parameters, and the second input is a data file. In this case, it's a CSV file. The Python script under the hood, it leverages a machine learning algorithm. In this case, it's a k-mean clustering. In order to find clusters in the clusters of records in the provided data file, and produce a result, produce a table that the user can view, explore, download as Excel or as another CSV file, and use in his or her work, whatever is required to do next. So these are two examples. So let's see how that works on practice. I'm going to switch to EasyMorph server. So what you see on your screen is EasyMorph server. Users access it through a browser, but it's an on-premises application, so it's not hosted in the cloud. It's hosted on a machine in your organization that you fully control, and therefore no data is sent to the cloud. So everything is 100% local, and no telemetry, no metadata is sent out, no user data sent out. So it's very private. The server has multiple capabilities, and today we will be looking at one of the capabilities that is called the Explorer. What you see on your screen is a sample directory in the catalog, and you see that assets in the catalog, they basically look like black boxes. When we try to use one of the assets, let's say we will use this one, marketing campaign extract. The user would press retrieve, and now we see the input form with two parameters. You can specify different types of inputs here. It can be a checkbox, a drop list, just a file path, or just a constant. Nothing fancy, simple but functional. So you specify a date range, and then to continue you press retrieve. Under the hood, EasyMorph runs a Python script with these parameters as inputs and produces a table. So that table is produced by a Python script that queried an external data source. Now, besides the table, EasyMorph also offers to create a few filters if the user needs to add more specifics, and maybe need to filter only a particular subset of data. Maybe here we want to filter only customers with one child, and we want to take only the 3 most recent dates of data, and then the result can be downloaded as an Excel spreadsheet or a CSV file. Under the hood, it's a small script. This is the Python script that was executed in the process. Here it's just a sample script that you can get the idea. The script can queries a local database. It runs two queries using pandas and does a join between the two data frames. And this result is then returned to EasyMorph. So you can see EasyMorph, yield output, and then this data frame. The exact syntax will be explained a bit later in this webinar by Matt, so I won't focus much on that. But I'm showing you this Python script so that you get the idea. Now let's look at the second example. The second example is a bit more complex. So in the second example, we will be processing an input file. So in my catalog, I also have an asset that points to a directory. So I can open this directory, and this directory, you can browse it right in EasyMorph. And here I will upload a data file right into this directory as the user. So I drag and drop and upload the file. Okay, and it was already there, so I'm overwriting it. So now I am uploaded a CSV file with some marketing data on my customers. Now I return to my catalog, and I launch the K-mean clustering asset. So I press retrieve. Now I see a different form where I can pick the file that I just uploaded. I go to data, marketing campaign CSV, so I select that. And I pick a number of segments. Let's say I want to use 4 segments for clustering. And here I list the columns to be used for clustering. So where my variables will be, that the clustering algorithm should look at and group the records based on data in these columns. Again, nothing too fancy, but functional. So nothing, it's not complex to use. And after I specified all the parameters, I press retrieve, and I see now, okay, it runs a Python script under the hood, and now I see a similar view with the data, and you can see the first column in this data set is called cluster. I can add it as a filter, and I can explore what's inside my clusters. To help a bit with the exploration, because maybe my clustering didn't go as I expected, so I can use simple charts in this view to get an idea, a rough idea, if that clustering worked well for me. So I can look at average income by segments, or I can look at average spending by segments, and I can see, for instance, here that my segment number 1 and segment number 2, they're not really different. So maybe my clustering didn't work as I would want it to, and it seems like I should have used 3 segments for clustering instead of 4. So I'm rerunning it again, but with a different set of clusters. So I use a different use the same file, but now I use 3 segments for clustering. I run retrieve, and now I see my data set, but now it's clustered into three groups. I can see it when I add a column for clustering. Now I have three clusters, and if I look at the breakdown or aggregation by clusters, well, now they look a little bit more distinct. So I would probably settle with this, and I'm downloading the result as an Excel spreadsheet, and now I can use it. In Excel for whatever other work I need to do. Under the hood, it also runs a Python script, and this is the Python script. It's a bit more convoluted, and again, Matt will explain in a moment how those scripts work. But you get the idea. So that was the first option, how to use Python as assets for the end users. The second option is using Python from visual workflows. In this case, users can work with EasyMorph Desktop. This option is for somewhat more advanced users who may still not be willing to write Python code, but who can design visual workflows in EasyMorph, and it's not that hard to do. So EasyMorph, it's an easy to use tool where you can design workflows by dragging and dropping actions from a list of available actions like that, and where you can connect visually to multiple data sources and databases and import files and perform many operations. In a workflow like that, using Python is done with the help of the call Python action. And in the call Python action, you specify a script that you want to run. And that script can use parameters. It can use the input data set from EasyMorph. So whatever data set you had in the previous step before calling Python. In the next step, this data set will be passed to Python script. And you can do whatever is necessary in Python script, apply machine learning algorithms, apply some custom or very specific calculations that are specific to your organization, and the result is returned back. And that action works seamlessly in EasyMorph. So that, for instance, if you make changes in your logic, for instance, you want to add a step for deduplication. At this point, you want to deduplicate data and rerun your Python. So you simply drag and drop and insert deduplication step between calling Python script, and now EasyMorph will rerun this Python script under the hood automatically, and you will see the updated results in a moment. Voila. The calculation has finished, and you can see the updated results. So the benefit of using visual workflows is that users, your business colleagues, can get okay, there is a question from so 1 second regarding the limit of the limit of rows does exist, but it's pretty high. EasyMorph desktop can operate with millions and even tens of millions of records, even on an average laptop. It's an in-memory tool, so the more memory you have on your machine, the more data you can process in memory. But you can comfortably talk about millions and tens of millions of rows, even on an average laptop. So that limit, from a practical perspective, can be pretty high. That do I need? Okay. Yes, you will need Python installed on your machine. 1 second. I'll open the chat window. Yes, because EasyMorph runs Python under the hood, but Python needs to be installed on the same machine where EasyMorph is installed. In case you use Python in workflows, because you see in this action called Python, it's a local script. Although when you use the catalog, you can use the catalog in workflows as well. For instance, in this case, I'm going to pull a data set from the catalog using the same asset I used on the web, but in desktop. So I specify the same start date and end date, and I retrieve it. But in this case, the Python script is executed on the server. So I don't have to use Python installed on my machine. The server does all the job, and I only receive this data set in desktop. And now I can keep adding new actions. And let's say if I want to filter data by some value, then I can keep adding actions, and I keep transforming this data locally on my computer. Well, this should give you an idea how non-technical people can work with data from the catalog or produced by Python scripts or transformed by Python scripts within a visual environment without the need to code. EasyMorph, it's a powerful application. So if you're not familiar with it, I recommend getting the free edition from our website, playing with it and exploring its capabilities, or booking a demo with us. You can do it from our website. And at this point, I'm passing the mic to Matt, who will explain in detail how to work with EasyMorph on the Python side.
Thank you. Let me share my screen and we can continue. Okay, so as Dimitri walked us through, there's lots of functionality within EasyMorph to embed or wrap our Python scripts in a nice way that makes them usable by non-programmers or data and scientists. But there's lots of elements to the Python integration, and we refer to it as a low-level Python integration because we've done a lot of work in making sure that it's full of functionality to really give as much capabilities and functionality both to business users who aren't technical, but also to the Python developers or data scientists. So let's take a look at, from the code side, from the Python side, what functionality exists and how we can take existing Python scripts or future ones that we develop and how we can really tweak them to work and integrate with EasyMorph so that we can do all of the things that Dimitri just showed us. So there are two elements to the Python integration. The first Dimitri mentioned is the call Python action. And it's worth noting that you've always been able to run Python code from EasyMorph workflows. However, to do that previously, you were just sort of firing that, running it as a command, and the script ran with no real communication or integration with EasyMorph. So the call Python action provides much of that ability to interact between the Python script that's running and the workflow in EasyMorph that's called that Python script. The other big part, and we'll look at the details of in a minute, is the EasyMorph Python library. So the EasyMorph Python library can be included into Python scripts, much like any other Python library, and it gives us lots of that functionality and features to be able to do all the funky things we want to do to make EasyMorph workflows and Python work well together. So let's take one of those scenarios that Dimitri talked about. We want to do the k-means analysis. So for those who aren't Python developers or data scientists, Dimitri mentioned k-means analysis is a mechanism, it's an algorithm for taking a big set of data and looking for patterns. And so we provide certain fields, they're known as features, for the algorithm to look at. As Dimitri showed us, it was picking the age of the people, their income, and how much they were spending on an online store, and then using those fields to look for patterns in order to try and cluster users together. Now, a common way the reason this is done would be for marketing. So marketing may want to target certain campaigns or adverts to users. And if we can group them into similar cohorts, we can better target to them the products that they will actually be interested in, rather than as just advertising products that we don't. So in this scenario, I have a Python script. It's an existing one that I've been running for our marketing department, but I'm really playing the middleman. I wrote it in the first place, but I still have to go to our data team to get the data from them, and then I have to run it through the Python script, and I can give it to the marketing team. But that marketing team wants to tweak it. Maybe they need a different number of cohorts. Maybe they have an updated version of the data and they want it to run. And previously, they would have to come back to me over and over again to have to rerun the analysis for them. And all I'm really doing is rerunning the same Python script. So let's take a look at the Python script behind the scenes and what it looks like. Dimitri briefly showed it to us. Let's talk through it in a little more detail. So here's the unmodified version of our Python script. It's very straightforward. It's relatively short. It isn't a complex machine learning or data science script. They can be far, far, far more complex, but it shows you some of the sort of basic functionality. So don't worry if you're not a Python developer. Maybe you'll get a gist and you can follow along and see that it's not that difficult, and you might be able to dip your toe and try it out for yourself. So our script, first of all, loads in a CSV file for us that has all of our data. And unfortunately, as is always the case, our CSV file contains lots of errors and omissions in that data. There's values missing, there's extra fields we need to calculate to be able to use. And so we calculate the total amount that the user spent, and we calculate their age based upon a year of birth. And we also have some missing values in our income, so we fill them with the average. We need to cleanse and tidy up our data. Again, EasyMorph could do this for us in our workflow, This is our existing script. Then we define what are those fields that we want to be our features. What are the fields in that data set that the k-means analysis is going to use to try and look for patterns and categorize people together. And then we get to the actual analysis itself. We ask k-means.
Matt, excuse me. It seems like your screen is frozen because nothing is changing. If you are showing the script already,
I am.
You may need to reshare your screen.
Let me try resharing my screen. Let's try that again. Hopefully you can see the Python script. So yeah, as I said, we're loading the CSV. We have to clean up that data a bit, and then we can get to the interesting bit, actually doing the k-means analysis on that data and asking the k-means algorithm to cluster our customers together, looking for those patterns. And on the back of doing that, we can see a small sample of those records. We've got all that information about our customers, when they were born, what their income is, how much they've spent with us. And at the end, we can see, just like we saw in the data set that Dimitri showed us, we can see that it's put those users into one of 3 clusters for us. So that's what my current Python script looks like. Let's take a look at how we can modify that to work with EasyMorph using the EasyMorph Python library. So the very first thing is we need to import that EasyMorph Python library, and that's what gives us lots of the capabilities to be able to interact with EasyMorph in lots of different ways. The very first is that the library provides us the ability to check if our Python script is running based upon it just being executed in the command line. I could run it here, or if it's being run as a result of being called by that call Python action from an EasyMorph workflow. And so we call it standalone mode if it isn't being called by the call Python action. So I first can use that EasyMorph library to check if I'm in standalone mode or not. And if I am, I can go and get my CSV file, and I can do the same cleansing of the data that I needed to do before. If I'm not in standalone mode, i.e. I'm being called by an EasyMorph workflow from the call Python, then instead I can call and get EasyMorph to pass me the data set that is the result of the action before the call Python action in our workflow. So I can actually take that input data, pass it into my Python script, and then I can use that data to be able to do the rest of the analysis or whatever I want to do in my Python script. It's worth pointing out that EasyMorph here, we're calling the toDataFrame function. So the EasyMorph obviously works using EasyMorph data sets, and commonly in Python, we're using pandas data frames. Pandas is another Python library. It gives us lots and lots of functionality for manipulating sets of data, and it's supported by most other data science type libraries, machine learning, that kind of thing, that's available in Python. And so we have a function available for us to just convert from an EasyMorph data set to a pandas data frame so that we can use that, because that's what our k-means analysis expects us to use. So there's the next piece of functionality. We can receive that data set and we can convert from an EasyMorph data set to a pandas data frame. The next thing we do as well is we can also receive from our EasyMorph workflow all the parameters that are available in that workflow. So as Dimitri showed us, we have the ability to set parameters in our workflow, to and from dates, different definitions of the files or the number of segments we want to do, any type of parameter. And again, the EasyMorph Python library gives us access from our Python script to those parameters. And so in my EasyMorph workflow, as we'll look at in a minute, we have a parameter called segments, and we want to use that as the value of the number of segments or cohorts that we want to be able to split our customer group into when we do our analysis. Beyond that, the script is exactly the same as it was before, and we do all of the same analysis. We define the same features or fields that we want to do that k-means analysis on, and we perform exactly the same k-means analysis. This time, instead of just being fixed to 3, we use that segments variable that we received from a parameter, and we can perform our Python, our k-means analysis on that data set to generate our clustering and our segmentation of our users. And lastly, just like we could receive the set of data from EasyMorph, we also want to be able to pass that set of data back. And so again, if I'm in standalone mode, I can save it out as a CSV file, or if I am being called from an EasyMorph workflow, my script can pass that data back. And in the same way, we have a from data frame as well, so that we can convert a data frame back to an EasyMorph data set to be able to pass back to EasyMorph for it to be able to use. So if I just chose to run my script, and I can still run my script just like I used to, it will run perfectly well. It will load in. We can see it's running in standalone mode because I haven't called it from the workflow. It's picking up the data from the CSV file. It's saving the output of the CSV file, and it output our CSV file for us with our data instead. So let's take a look back at EasyMorph at a workflow that uses this, and it's the workflow that Dimitri showed us previously. So in this scenario, I've built a workflow to go and get my data from my database, to combine it, to do the cleansing, to populate missing values, etc., etc. All the tools and features that are available to us in EasyMorph to manipulate data in an almost endless number of ways. And then I've simply added my call Python action. I've asked it to pass the data set in because my Python script is expecting to receive that data set to use. And also I've asked it to return the data set as the result of this Python action working. And I can run it. It will pass in that set of data. The Python script will do what it does. It will pass back that set of data that its end result is. And indeed, our end result is that we have a cluster field that gives us that ability to segment our customers into the cohorts that make sense for us to be able to pass to the marketing team, for them to be able to target those customers with products that they're actually likely to be interested in. So it's really simple. It's very easy to be able to take existing Python scripts and modify them, as well as being able to keep them running and operating directly in Python if I want to do that as a Python developer. As I said, this script does have some parameters. So there's our segments parameter, which was used by that Python script and received that in as well. And so that core functionality to be able to pass data and parameters into my script, get it to do what it does and pass it back, is really powerful. And then I can build a very simple workflow that just has a call Python action, or I can build a more complex workflow like this to wrap around that Python script additional functionality. And I can make my script available to my data engineers or my very data literate, more technical business people to build their own workflows and simply add the call Python action and call my script to wherever they want in their workflow. Or we can wrap this script and take it to our EasyMorph server, make it one of those assets in our catalog, and then even less technical business users can simply run this analysis without having any knowledge or understanding of what happens in the background. It still gives them all of that functionality, and they don't even need to know that Python was involved at all. So if we look back, we've looked at just some of the functionality of that Python integration. There is more. We don't have time to go through everything today. We obviously looked at how we can identify if a script is running because it's been called from EasyMorph, as well as receiving and sending back sets of data to the EasyMorph workflow, and to access those parameters as well. There are more capabilities We can also write and read EasyMorph dataset files. These are .dset files that, if you're familiar with EasyMorph, are kind of EasyMorph's native file format and can be really useful as well. We can also ask the call Python action to pass back from our Python script all of the print messages. So in our Python script, we can have print messages, and those print messages can be returned and actually appear in our Python, in our workflow that calls our Python script, so that we can see the progress of that script as the Python works. We can also generate warning messages and pass those to EasyMorph, so that our EasyMorph workflow can know if something went wrong or a problem may have been identified when the Python script was run. And we can also do the inverse, and that if our Python script maybe takes a long time to run, we also have the ability to monitor if the user has asked for the EasyMorph workflow to halt, to stop running because it was taking too long, or they realized they made a mistake, in which case we can actually monitor that and our Python script can terminate, so it doesn't just keep running until it's finished if the user wants to cancel it as well. And we've got lots more functionality available or coming in the future. Dimitri will tell us a little more about that in a second. If you want to start to look at what you can do and getting more hands-on with working with Python, there's a few places you can go to find more information. The EasyMorph help site has some of the documentation for the call Python action, as well as what can be done using the Python library in Python. And also the EasyMorph community forum is a great place to go and see. There's many questions already on there about the Python integration, and of course you can ask your own as well. So I'll pass back to Dimitri, who will be able to tell us a bit more about what's planned for the future in Python and EasyMorph.
Thank you, Matt. I'd like to share a few more advanced topics and our future roadmap for Python. It's a big topic, Python integration and how making Python usable for everyone in your organization. One webinar is not enough to cover it, so I wanted to mention a few other topics more advanced that we didn't cover in this webinar, but for you to have a bigger picture, better understanding of other capabilities that you can have by combining Python and Visual EasyMorph workflows. Well, first of all, EasyMorph can serve as an orchestration tool where you can design master workflows to run and orchestrate different Python scripts in the necessary sequence, or running them in parallel, or handling errors, or maybe scripts or flows that expect external system to finish computations in order to continue calculations in some other Python script. So complex scenarios are possible with master workflows in EasyMorph. Also, you can use scheduled Python scripts when you create EasyMorph server tasks that run Python scripts. You can schedule them in different ways: daily, hourly, weekly, monthly. You can also run Python scripts on events, such as an email received or database table updated, or new rows. You can use Python in custom API automations. For instance, you can deploy your own custom APIs or REST APIs with EasyMorph and process incoming API calls with Python that would generate JSON or XML objects, and these objects will be returned back as HTTP responses. You can, with the help of EasyMorph, you can also trigger Python on cloud webhooks, on cloud events that happen in some external cloud applications, and those applications can trigger your local Python scripts by passing data parameters from those cloud systems right into your Python script. And finally, a big and highly useful capability is so-called asset hyperlinking, where you can have multiple or different types of tables computed also with Python, and you can navigate from one table to another by using asset hyperlinking. For instance, you have orders, and from that order you go to the customer profile who created this order, and from the customer profile you go maybe to the sales manager who helps this customer with understanding about the product line and so on. So you can navigate from one to another again in a visual way using the catalog and exploring EasyMorph. Finally, a few words what's coming next. So our roadmap for Python in EasyMorph. We are on track to make Python a first-class citizen in EasyMorph. So for those of you who are familiar with EasyMorph already, it will be possible to specify Python scripts in EasyMorph server tasks, so that the server tasks run Python scripts directly without using an intermediate workflow. As well as in a similar fashion, computer assets in the catalog will be able to run Python scripts directly. So again, you will be able to specify a Python script in a computed asset, because as you could see from Matt's demonstration, you can work natively in Python scripts with EasyMorph parameters and datasets and return datasets. So that's enough to make it possible to use Python scripts directly in server tasks and catalog assets. Next year we'll be introducing a new, more visual, more advanced way for orchestration. It will be a new capability, a new feature of EasyMorph, visual orchestration, where you can mix workflows and Python scripts and other things like SQL queries and stored procedures and some other options in one visual orchestration flow. Also, in EasyMorph Desktop, as you know, you can have multiple modules in EasyMorph Desktop, so it will be possible to add Python modules in EasyMorph projects, where you can mix visual workflows and Python scripts in the same project. And let's say a visual workflow will be able to call or iterate a Python script as if it was a visual workflow, so very natively to EasyMorph. Finally, we will be improving the EasyMorph library that does all the low-level bindings between EasyMorph and Python. And we will be introducing server-hosted Python scripts, where it will be possible to run Python right on the server. So the call Python action will be able to run Python scripts right on the server. From within Python, it will be possible to retrieve and update catalog assets, and also we will add methods to work with shared memory, with EasyMorph shared memory. And for those of you who are not familiar with EasyMorph, EasyMorph has a built-in key value store that can be used by multiple workflows, but also it will be possible to work with it right from Python scripts. That's all for today. We still have time, so if you have questions, please go ahead and ask your questions. We will, Alex, can we unmute please everyone, so that people can ask questions in voice? Or alternatively, you are welcome to book a demo with us at easymorph.com, and we will schedule a call, and we will discuss your questions, your situations, your cases in more detail in a personal call scheduled with you.
All right, so if anyone has any questions, you should all be unmuted, or you can go ahead and type in chat and we can answer any questions you have.
Just to pick up on the question we already had, no, I don't. There is no limit to the number of rows in your Python script. The EasyMorph doesn't have its own interpreter that's running. It uses the Python interpreter to do it, and so only limitations are those already in the Python interpreter. So there's no limit. Your Python script can be ridiculously long, and it will still run from the call Python action in EasyMorph.
More questions, suggestions? Do you feel like there is some feature or some need that to be addressed with future in future versions of EasyMorph?
Hi Dimitri, it's Stefan Shutkovic from France. Just to know, because we had the problem to run the Python from the server, and we had to work around and to compile it as an executable and to launch it as a script. Do you plan to make it like running natively soon, or there is a limitation, a rare limitation that is not possible? Just to know, because we had to work around this to make Python run on the server.
I see. Well, I suggest sending an email to our support at support@easymorph.com, and there should be no reason why you can't run Python on the server from a technical perspective. So if you run into any problems with running Python from EasyMorph, then we will help you to investigate it and fix it.
Yeah, there is a common issue we've seen where, because EasyMorph server, when it's running the Python or the workflow that runs the Python script, then it runs as the account that the services run as for the worker service, and commonly those system service accounts don't have access to certain locations on the disk, and so one of the common problems we've seen where people couldn't get them to run on the server side, it's because that worker's service account doesn't have permissions to access Python or the location where the scripts are, etc. But as Dimitri said, drop a support ticket in and we'll help.
Okay, thank you. Another question that we are still fighting with that are open long time ago use case. When you select, you filter, and you have the panel with the selection, you don't have any to select the things you have filtered, to be able to uncheck when you are testing or when you are trying to go through data and filtering. There is a button to copy the selection and to be able to paste it in the, but you don't have the button to just to be able to shortlist with the filter you have put on the, and just untoggle what you have toggled already to be able to change the filter selection in the EasyMorph. Is it planned to make it this feature one day, or I can jump into the window and collapse?
Yes, we are aware of this usability issue, and we are going to address it in one of the future versions of EasyMorph.
Great, thank you.
There is a question from Ayaz in chat. To use Python in desktop, do I need to use the EasyMorph library in my Python code to connect to the input files? The answer is no. That's not mandatory. The EasyMorph library is only required to integrate with EasyMorph, so that you can receive parameters from EasyMorph in your Python script, and so that you can receive the input data set, because in EasyMorph it's an in-memory tool. Data is in memory, so to pass it into EasyMorph in memory, you need to use the library. But in other ways, the Python code called from EasyMorph, just regular Python. So for instance, you can pass a file path through a parameter to that Python code, and through an EasyMorph parameter, and then the Python can read this file locally, just like normal script does. So there is no restriction in that. So it's just regular Python code. All right, more questions?
I think we have another question. From what I got, it's just making our own Python script easy to use for the non-technical person. So pretty much anything can be done. It's just making it easier to interpret. So yeah, anything you want to do in or can do today in Python using any of the millions of libraries, whether they be data science or otherwise in Python, you can still do. The EasyMorph library and integration just gives you those extra pieces of functionality and features to be able to easily and more seamlessly interact between anything else you want to do in Python and passing data backwards and forwards to EasyMorph workflows, reading parameters, and all those other features we talked about.
Any other questions? Any other questions from anyone?
If I can ask for a bit of feedback from what we demonstrated today, does it make sense for you? Do you think this is something that you can use in your organization, or does it address a problem that exists? Or please feel free to share your opinion. If you think that does make sense or it's not really useful, or well, go ahead and say it. So we are open for any feedback.
For me personally, I downloaded EasyMorph and I think I used it for just one day. I work a lot in Python, so watching this, I think I could use it a lot with my team here to make them access a lot of my work more easily. Because as of now, no, I mean, I do create apps with my scripts mostly to get users to use it, but I think this will probably make my life a lot more easier than what I'm doing now. So yeah, it's definitely eye-opening. I think it'll be very useful here for my workplace.
Good to hear.
Thank you, Coffee. Thank you. Indeed, another option would be to create custom apps or design or use something like no-code application builder or something. Well, EasyMorph provides a simple user interface available out of the box. Nothing fancy, nothing too advanced or sophisticated. Simple but functional. So here are the inputs. This is the output. Well, and that's how people can use Python with these simple additions.
Although the user interface is going to get a facelift in the new version of EasyMorph coming in a few weeks' time. So it will look much more interesting and modern as a user interface, but still basic functionality wise for you to be able to specify those inputs for the users, etc.
All right, Alex.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the webinar. We really appreciate your time. I did want to have just a quick announcement. On November 12th, we are hosting our first community meetup, and this is a great opportunity to meet other EasyMorph customers to learn about how you can best use EasyMorph. We'll be sending out an email early next week about the community meetup. You can also find the post in the community forum, so please join if you want to meet other like-minded people like yourself. Thank you so much for coming today, and we will see you on the next one.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks,
Have a great
everyone.
day.
Thank you.